We all know that the best way to support our students with their university and college applications is by making sure we've got a handle on absolutely every aspect of that application process. Well, you're not going to be surprised to hear that I think that Notion is the #1 platform in which to do it. I'm going to show you exactly how I've got it set up now and show you exactly where you can get this exact template for yourself, that you can use it. It's taken me a couple of days to develop it and get it working the way it does. You can get it for yourself with about 5 minutes work just by hitting the download link in the description of this video. Let's jump in and have a look. So we're sat there with our students, our tutees at the start of term, and we want to, first of all, really gather lots of information from them about what their start point is and where they are. So we've got two ways of doing that. #1, we can click on the student in this dashboard and we can say, right, student 8, let's say, right, you're thinking of applying for, well, let's start at the beginning actually. Let's look at what GCSEs you've got. So you got maths, grades, AQA, grade 7, and you did Excel, English, literature, you got a grade 8, brilliant, okay, and English language, you got a grade 7, so English language, where is it? It's down here somewhere, there's a grade 7. Okay, so we're gathering up those grades using the side peek option on my screen at the moment. We're gathering up those grades and we're finding out, building a picture of where this student is. Okay, note at the same time as I'm typing them in on the side peek option, we can see that the student's card is actually updating as well as we go along. So we can see that, it's lovely, isn't it? So got all the information on the grades. Right, you've got those grades, well done. What are you thinking of applying for now? Okay, so I really want to do mathematics at Exeter, but I'll also maybe stick in an application for Newcastle and Bristol, why not? Okay, and I'm also thinking of mechanical engineering. We can add these options in as we go along. There we are. So the students think we're applying for mathematics and mechanical engineering at those 3 universities. It's updated, it's there, it's captured. All right, on down. Okay, who's your tutor this year? It's me. Okay, cool. So that's your tutor information. And what's your name? Sorry, so Sam Brown, whatever it happens to be. Okay, and that's updated there, isn't it? Ooh. Sam Brown, and I'll do that a little bit off, we don't need that. Okay, cool. So that is the student's information captured, and as we're holding those first meetings with all of our tutees, or all the students that we're responsible for, if we're in the careers department maybe, we can be gathering those informations onto one card for that student, displaying exactly the information in this view that we want to see in order we can support our students with their application. All right, and look, each of these headings along here for the lower 6th in the lower 6th UCAS view, which is the top one on my screen at the moment, we can see that Sam Brown is currently, he's just at the start of lower 6th, and we're having this first meeting with him, so we can move him along to the second stage, which is meet his tutor. We have to consider at this stage, do we want to resit GCSE English or Maths? Okay, and these are all steps in a process which I'll show you a little bit more where I've got these steps from in a few minutes. But this is step 2. We've met with Sam Brown, we've talked about whether he wants to resit his GCSE Maths or English. He's got good grades, don't need to resit them. Let's move him on, brilliant. There he is, so Sam is now joined Harry Potter at stage 3, and Sam's work now is to virtually explore universities, link that exploration to his grade targets that he's set himself. Okay, and we can see in here that this is an activity that's going to be happening in October for Sam and for everyone, and it's got a due date for my school and our situation. That's got a due date of the 22nd of October, and this information is all right there and available to us as we go along. So obviously Sam will then progress through the steps as he shares. Maybe there's a step there, for example, briefing on how to write personal statement and share examples. There's a few resources in there which will help Sam, and I can then say, right, so Sam, you then, by step 9, you need to have drafted your personal statement by the 5th of May next summer. All right, and it's just, what a great way of just having all the information we need, and then tracking the progress of our students through this application process, which otherwise can get pretty messy, can't it? If we don't have this process. So that's your lower 6 steps along the top, upper 6 steps along the bottom. There's 18 steps in total throughout the full process. Where do those steps come from? Well, it's from this plan which I've been given. And this is the plan that I follow. I think it's pretty good. It kind of front loads a lot of the work. It considers everything that the students might need to consider at quite a high level. But it's a great just way of measuring ourselves against that progress. So I've built the UCAS steps off that. Now, where have I built those UCAS steps into? Well, it's in a UCAS steps database. This is included in the template. You'll see this because that tracker that I've just shown you there relies on those steps. These step titles, these 18 step titles down here, are the headers of each of those columns in the board view. All right, 18 steps. So we've got the step title, we've got the step as a select property. We've got the term that it happens in. I thought it might be useful at some stage just to be able to look at a particular term and know all of the steps that happen within it. So I can come in here, U6 Michaelmas. Well, there I know that those are the steps that happen in that term, if that's useful for upper 6th. Okay, what year group does it work in? What's the due date? Well, I've set that due date. The interesting thing about due dates, of course, is that for me personally, I'm dealing with lower 6th and upper 6th. So if I sort this by, just jump in here, sort by due date, sort ascending, well then it suddenly mixes them all up. We've got 1, 13, 14, 15, 2, because a lot of the upper 6th work comes early in the school year and lower 6th comes later. So the due date is maybe a bit more relevant. I can see what my deadlines are. All right, I need to be 10th of September, I need to speak to upper 6th. 17th of September, I need to speak to lower 6th, and so on. Then just a few telling us what month the activity takes place in, any notes against each of those steps that are relevant to me. You'll be able to update these notes. And then I can quickly come in here and I can see which students are sitting at each of the steps in the process. All right, so that's that database, that's included. You'll be able to edit those steps to suit your particular process, and the due dates and whatever else you want to update. Then we come in and we see, well, I talked about the difference between, so I've got a house students database and I've got an academic students database. The academic students, I'm a maths teacher. If I teach someone maths, they're in my academic students database. This is my house students database. The reason I've got a separate database is because the properties required against the house students is a bit different. I'm not interested in what they got in their tests in September or in what their grade, I'm not so interested in sort of the detail of like the tests. It's not so much of a mark book, which the academic students database would be. This is the house students database. I'm more interested at this stage of the sixth form in tracking that UCAS or that application process. Okay, so here we have the different students listed. We've got the year group, we've got who's their tutor. If I've got like an oversight from a house level, I want to be able to see very quickly who the tutor is. I want to see what courses students are applying for, what unis the students are applying for, what the grades that they got in the GCSE are. I want to get a copy of each of their personal statements, so at least I've got that copy and I can see that latest view at any time. To be honest, I'll probably link that to OneDrive documents so that if the student makes any updates in their OneDrive, then I can see what those updates are. And then we've got the UCAS step that student's at right now. Okay, then with being house stuff, I might be a little bit interested in some of the merits and concerns and alerts and things that go on with the students, but they're pushed right over to the right hand side for this view anyway. Just one thing to show you is that I've got about 2,000 rows in this database because I wanted to be able to see very quickly what those grades are at GCSE, what the exam board was, and what the subject was. So I needed to have a couple of thousand different rows in a spreadsheet so that I could see that very quickly. And that's what gives me this, the exam board, the subject, and the grade that they got at that subject at GCSE. So it just pulls off that particular database. Okay, so that's your university's application process sorted. You've got the steps there. Jump in the description below and you'll be able to download this tracker and the rest of my teacher planner for 2022-23. Jump in there right now and grab it because it's super high value and it's all in there waiting to support you in your school year and minimize the admin whilst also allowing you to stay right on top of the application process, as well as the rest of your teacher admin, which I've gone through in great detail in my other videos. You're watching Notion for Teachers. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for dialing in every single week. It's been my pleasure to serve you, and I want to keep serving you. So please remember to hit subscribe and the bell icon and you'll be notified when I'm dropping new videos every single week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next week.